to the Rock Mount Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, Vice President J.D. Vance spoke in Brewer yesterday. We'll bring you the details of his visit coming up.
Plus, the Bangor area homeless shelter is asking for the public's help with donations and care packages.
And the Ellsworth City Council has proposed an RV park, but not everyone's happy. We'll hear their concerns as well.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll have those stories and more coming up, including more on how the new Canadian tariff war, how it might impact
Maine
businesses here.
Yeah.
But first, to check that forecast. It was pretty foggy when we headed into work this morning. I haven't looked outside lately, but
it was honestly kind of crazy.
It was thick fog,
It
so
was.
you'll want to take it easy this morning. It's not expected to last long. I think another hour or so.
Yep.
The fog advisory is going to be lifted, and after that, we'll see a little bit of sunshine, maybe a few passing thunderstorms later on.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes. Now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. We have a dense fog advisory that is up until 9 a.m. later on this morning. It is foggy out there from Bangor and farther off towards the east, so please be careful if you are traveling out there this morning. It is going to be hard to see. I mean, look at this, from Millinocket to Bangor to Bar Harbor, barely any visibility out there, so it is going to be difficult to see for a while this morning until everything clears up, as we do have some clouds also passing through. We'll eventually get the fog to clear up too, and even get some of the clouds to break up, so we will be partly cloudy today, a few showers, and even some thunderstorms will be on the way as well. Let's zoom things out right now. We do have the area low pressure that continues to move through, and again, eventually we'll get a few showers and thunderstorms developing as we head towards the afternoon period. You'll see those right there. Later on tonight, we'll get all that out of here as the sky clears out. A little bit more fog on the way again as we head towards later on tonight and the parts of tomorrow morning. So overall, as we move forward today, a partly cloudy sky, few storms possible, temperatures in the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
All right, thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, in his second Maine visit in 3 months, Vice President J.D. Vance energized supporters in Brewer. Vance is declaring the Trump administration's full support for Maine. Our Grace Blanchard was also there.
Vice President J.D. Vance is calling on Mainers to, quote, defeat socialism by electing Republicans like Paul LePage.
We're here to send a signal that we're standing with Paul LePage, and most importantly, we're here to send a signal that we are standing up for the good people of Maine every single day.
The vice president made a public appearance at Compotech in Brewer, a defense technology company, which Vance described as the fastest growing manufacturer in the state.
I want to reward companies like Compotech that invest in their workers rather than in trying to ship jobs overseas just to make a quick penny.
The event marks Vance's second stop in Maine in 3 months. In May, he visited Bangor to address the Trump administration's efforts to combat fraud.
Are we going to fight for the fraudsters who are stealing your money? Or we're going to fight for your children to have a safe and prosperous community right here in the state that they love? Because if we're going to fight for the children of Maine, we're going to fight for Paul LePage.
If elected, LePage said he is open to working with any Democrats to benefit the state.
I fought for you as governor. We improved the prosperity of the state when I was governor, and I intend to do that in Congress.
Vance also voiced support for Senator Susan Collins and gubernatorial candidate Bobby Charles. Neither were in attendance. Collins and Charles have both spoken out against the Trump administration's escalating trade war with Canada, which Vance strongly defended during the event.
We need to send a message loud and clear to the Prime Minister of Canada. Stop taking advantage of the people of Maine. Stop taking advantage of America. It's over. We expect fairness in our trade policy.
To boost local economies and communities like Brewer, Vice President Vance urges Mainers to elect candidates like Republican Paul LePage, who faces Democrat Matt Dunlap this November. In Brewer, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
While Vance was speaking to the crowd at Compotech, a crowd outside of the venue protested the vice president's arrival. J.D. Vance's return to Maine sparked a protest from Brewer and Bangor area residents who were upset with the Trump administration. The protesters came together to oppose several Trump administration policies, most notably the Iran war and rising costs for essentials like food and gasoline.
It's an opportunity for us to protest against an administration that funds wars at billions of dollars instead of helping people with their basic medical needs.
We're protesting the whole administration overall. We're Trump, ICE, just all of it. Nothing that is going on is okay, and it will never be okay.
Well, Vance visited Maine earlier this year in May, and a group of protesters was outside his speech at Bangor International Airport as well. Both protests were organized by Indivisible Bangor, the same group that organizes weekly protests outside the federal building on Harlow Street in Bangor.
Well, Matt Dunlap is running against Paul LePage for the 2nd congressional district seat. Following news reports that Vice President J.D. Vance was speaking in Brewer to campaign for LePage, Dunlap then issued a statement. It says, quote, Paul LePage brags about his direct line to the White House. So far, all that's gotten us is higher prices, a trade war with Canada raising prices, Medicaid cuts, closed maternity wards, and sending our shipbuilding jobs overseas. Now J.D. Vance is flying to Maine to bail out LePage's failing campaign. Good luck. They'd both be better off flying back to Florida, end quote.
All right, moving on to other news now. The State Fire Marshal's office is trying to find the cause of a bad house fire in Pittsfield. The fire on Hussey Road was reported at around 5:45 Sunday morning. A neighbor had spotted thick black smoke coming from the building and called for help. Fire crews say a large portion of the home was already engulfed in flames when they arrived and started their attack. They were able to protect a nearby barn, but the home itself appears to be a total loss. Authorities say the home was undergoing renovations at the time and no one was living there. Investigators are now trying to determine what started that fire in Pittsfield.
A man is facing several charges following an alleged stabbing in Exeter. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office says that they were called to a home on Avenue Road Friday afternoon for a report of a man assaulting family members. When they arrived, they found 33-year-old Babby Tatum walking in the middle of the road and detained him. They then learned that 2 people had been injured during that alleged assault, including one victim who had been stabbed. Tatum is now charged with aggravated assault, domestic violence assault, and criminal threatening. Additional charges are pending.
The trial for a Norridgewock man charged with killing his girlfriend's son got underway yesterday in Somerset County. 59-year-old Daniel Markey is accused of killing 38-year-old Christopher Nickerson in March of last year. Police were called to the home on the River Road in Norridgewock after the sheriff's office received a 911 call about a shooting at the home. Officials say when deputies arrived, they found Nickerson already deceased. Court documents indicate the two got into a fight after Nickerson confronted Markey about the way he was speaking to his girlfriend. Markey claims it was in self-defense, and his trial is expected to continue through Friday.
Meanwhile, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office arrested a transient woman on drug charges following a probation search. The Sheriff's Office says that deputies conducted a probation search of an RV located at a local business in Herman. 37-year-old Christina Andrews and another person were present during that search. The Sheriff's Office says that 2 locked safes were found, and neither Andrews nor the other individual present would provide them with the combinations. So the deputies seized them, got search warrants, and with the help of Bangor Fire, pried them open. The Sheriff's Office says that they contain roughly 150 grams of fentanyl, cocaine, methamphetamine, and MDMA. They also recovered a handgun, a realistic-looking BB gun, and approximately $3,500 in cash, believed to be proceeds of drug trafficking. Christina Andrews was arrested and charged with aggravated unlawful trafficking of scheduled drugs, possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, and unlawful possession of scheduled drugs. The Sheriff's Office says that more arrests are expected.
A pedestrian was injured when they were hit by a vehicle on Main Street in Ellsworth. It happened Monday night around 8:30 p.m. when a 58-year-old woman was traveling east and was struck when she struck a 59-year-old transient man. According to police, their investigation indicates the pedestrian stepped into the path of the vehicle outside of a crosswalk and without a crossing signal. They say officers also observed indications that pedestrian might have been under the influence. The pedestrian was transported to a hospital where that person was treated and later released. The driver not hurt. The charges are pending, or actually no charges are pending at this time.
Well, Bangor police were called to a rollover accident on Outer Hammond Street during Monday morning's busy commute. Authorities say that they received multiple calls after an SUV left the roadway and landed on its roof between B&L Auto and Jimar Construction Products. Police and EMS were still gathering the details when our crew had arrived on the scene. They were able to tell us that the driver was the only occupant in the vehicle at the time of the accident.
The fire department were here also due to the fact that the vehicle was rolled over or possible entrapment. Well, there was no entrapment.
The driver, whose name has not been released, was transported by ambulance to the local hospital. Well, the time now is 8:11. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we'll hear how the U.S.-Canadian trade war could impact certain Maine industries.
But first, another look at that forecast. Today will be a partly cloudy day with a chance of passing thunderstorms. High temps around 80 degrees. Thunderstorms early tonight with lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, a beautiful day on the way. Mostly sunny skies with a high near 82. We'll be right back.
Purple Co is open and here to stay. Come join a growing community of like-minded people with monthly events, arts and concerts, daily deals, and the best products and prices in the state. Plus, don't miss Purple Co Bangor's annual party on 4/18. Now with 4 locations from Portland to Bangor. Come check us out today.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
Purple Co is open and here to stay. Come join a growing community of like-minded people with monthly events, arts and concerts, daily deals, and the best products and prices in the state. Plus, don't miss Purple Co Bangor's annual party on 4/18. Now with 4 locations from Portland to Bangor. Come check us out today.
On the pavement, Sunday, October 4th at the Sea Dog on the Bangor waterfront. Register now at purpleirisfoundation.com or scan the QR code. Start a fundraiser, win prizes. Sign up by September 1st and get a free t-shirt. Goodie bags for the first 200 people to register. Cancer survivors sign up for free. Proceeds support those battling cancer in Maine. Pound the Pavement, sponsored by the Sea Dog, Summit America, Peter and Deb Brontis, Eventful Maine, ABC7, and Fox 22.
The city of Ellsworth is divided over a proposed RV park, with both sides saying they have the community's best interests in mind. Our Alex Schley has more.
Earlier this summer, the Ellsworth City Council elected to hold a special meeting to discuss a possible moratorium on RV parks.
A property owner to our planning board with a proposal to develop a piece of land that they own into an RV park, a 28-site RV park on 566 Bayside Road.
While the project would bring new development to the area, some residents say they're concerned about what that could mean for their neighborhood.
The concerns they brought forward was alignment with our comprehensive plan, preserving the neighborhood character of areas.
One Alton Lane resident who opposes the development says one of the biggest concerns is what could happen if the park expanded down the road and the impact that could have on their otherwise quiet neighborhood.
But the property itself is 52 acres and lines the entire left side of Out Nav, and so we're very concerned that if the initial approval comes, what that means for the future.
But other Alton Lane residents we spoke with say they believe the property owner has the right to develop the land.
I'd like to see my kids stick around. I'd like to see them make this place better. And I think saying no to everybody that wants to build something is counter to that. I think that we need to look and see if the responsibility of building this inherently is going to help our infrastructure in the long run.
Pierce says this kind of debate is something Ellsworth has been seeing more and more of as the city continues to grow.
It's always a good opportunity to make sure that the zone restrictions but also allowances are up to state with current standards.
Next Monday, August 31st, the city will hold a special meeting to discuss the proposed RV park. 2 days later, on Wednesday, September 2nd, the planning board is expected to vote on whether to approve the project. In Ellsworth, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, the Bangor area homeless shelter is asking for the public's help as summer begins to wind down. The shelter is particularly in need of hygiene products such as soap and other personal care items, along with paper products like plates, napkins, and cups. Bangor Area Homeless Shelter's Executive Director, Boyd Kronholm, says that while the work they do is important to the community, it can also put a strain on the shelter's resources.
We have our regular overnight guests, and we had 70-some people come through here today that use 2 bathrooms. So sometimes it comes a little bit of an issue. So we ask for some air freshener, dry shampoo, things along those lines that people. Not all of that is for the people who stay here. A lot of that is for the people who aren't staying here, and they.
Well, the Bangor Area Homeless Shelter is open every day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, as the trade war between the U.S. and Canada escalates, Maine companies could get caught in the crossfire. After weekend negotiations fell through, President Trump announced 50% tariffs on $20 billion worth of Canadian goods, including agricultural and wood products. And with Canada promising to retaliate, Maine's logging industry could feel the squeeze from both sides. Sam DeCoste has more.
They came in with a bunch of unreasonable last-minute demands. I frankly thought we had a deal.
They asked too much, and they offered too little.
A trade war causing chaos and confusion on both sides of the border.
And it's going to destroy the economy.
Ashley Kalin advises Canadian and American businesses on trade and tariffs. Kalin warns the tariffs could cost hundreds of thousands of Canadians their jobs. But she says the U.S. will soon take their own blows after Canada officially retaliates with its own tariffs.
The intention was to bring manufacturing and bring jobs back to America. And in theory, it made sense, but the execution is not going well. I think it is going to destroy a lot of businesses and it's going to destroy a lot of lives, not just in the U.S., but in Canada as well.
Increased costs could force loggers in the Maine lumber industry to make some difficult decisions.
And if you're located in Aroostook County and you don't have the mills in central or southern Maine are just too far away to haul logs and still be profitable, you rely heavily upon those Canadian markets.
The Professional Logging Contractors of the Northeast says loggers often have to buy steel and electronics imported from Canada to build logging equipment. If Canada retaliates with matching tariffs, it could squeeze the lumber industry even more.
It's lowering morale because it's becoming really expensive and really complicated to invest in their equipment, invest in their people, invest in their businesses.
And that was Sam DeCoste reporting. Well, gas prices have taken a big jump in the last week. According to Gas Buddy's latest survey, they went up 10.7 cents a gallon to an average of $4.10 a gallon here in Maine. That's 3 cents a gallon higher than a month ago and nearly 96 cents a gallon higher than a year ago. The national price of diesel also increased 16.6 cents compared to a week ago. Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, says, quote, gasoline, while not at all-time records, is at the highest level ever recorded this late in the calendar year, meaning Americans could, for the first time ever, see a national average price of gasoline above $4 per gallon on Labor Day.
Happening in a bad time, too, as we're starting to head into the colder months.
Winter,
Heating oil, I know, is another big concern.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, the time now is 8:19. After the break, the Trump administration rolled back immigration protections for military families. We'll have more on that ahead.
Plus, returning students and new faces moving into their college dorms here in Maine. We'll hear their thoughts as they start their school year coming up on Good Morning Maine.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
Augusta politician Troy Jackson. While his family cashed in, you paid the price. As state Senate president, he voted repeatedly for higher taxes. Troy Jackson voted to allow cities and towns to drastically raise your property taxes, hurting our seniors and working families the most. And Jackson supports raising taxes on your Social Security, making Mainers pay more while his family cashed in. We can't afford Troy Jackson in the Senate. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You know what today is? It's Tuesday. Just reminding you that whatever day of the week you get hurt, we're your go-to lawyers. If you've been hurt, call us right now.
Hurt in an accident, what do you do? Call 222-2222.
Are you experiencing foot pain? Comfort Shoes and More has a team of experts trained in pet orthotics to help you find relief. They offer tailored fittings, shoe modifications, customized orthotics, and much more for the ordinary or for the hard-to-fit foot, with fashionable and functional footwear from today's top brands: Hoka, Brooks, Keen, Teva, Taos, Ufus, and Birkenstocks. From running to walking, casual or dress, they have it all. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
I'm Deborah Norville, and this is The Perfect Line. Arrange these holidays, these historic firsts, these animals by weight.
I have no idea.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
With another year of school just around the corner, Maine colleges and universities anticipate the arrival of fresh faces and returning students.
Our Sam Miller has the story.
On Monday, the University of Maine and Colby College welcomed new and returning students to their campuses as they count down the days toward the start of another academic season. In Orono, around 2,000 freshmen moved into their dorms with the help of 400 volunteers. This is a part of the university's Black Bear Bridge Week, which helps new students adjust to life on campus.
Trying to give them a range of experiences even this week before the upper class students move in toward the end of the week to get them feeling like they not only are a part of this community, they're going to shape this community, and that's really important to us.
Since I was little, I've always wanted to come to UMaine. I just didn't know what for, but I think this is going to be a pretty good choice for me.
Over in Waterville, returning juniors and seniors settled into a brand new 217-room residence facility on Mayflower Hill. It's made up of 5 houses connected through evocative bridge spaces, and each offers elevators, single bedrooms, kitchenettes, and gathering spaces. Colby College officials and students say the goal of the facility is to tighten the school's community, and they're ecstatic for what the future holds.
I'm incredibly excited about this year, and I think that this is exactly what the Colby community needs.
Maine, but this is the 5th institution that I had the privilege to work at, and in all those 5 institutions, and they've been in major cities, smaller areas, there's nothing like this building anywhere else. So I feel super privileged to be able to open a building like this one and here at Colby College.
Classes for Colby start Wednesday, September 9th, and classes for UMaine begin on Monday, August 31st. I'm Sam Miller reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Boy, it's kind of a bittersweet time. I remember it a few years ago with my kids. You know, it's
Yeah.
hard to believe they're grown up and now we're sending them off to college. We're so proud, but
Yeah,
you know.
it's always exciting, at least the other end
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
It's exciting to move into somewhere new and get your room all set up and all of that. So congratulations to all of them.
Yeah, good luck to them as they kick off the new school year.
Definitely. Now let's get a full look at our forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tick Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes. Now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. The dense fog is bad out there this morning, reducing visibilities from Millinocket to Bangor to Bar Harbor and further off toward towards the east. Barely any visibility, so it is going to be hard to see for a while this morning. So please be careful as you do make that morning commute. Things will begin to improve later on. So in the meantime, we do have dense fog advisories posted until about 9 a.m. this morning. So this is definitely stating the obvious that it is hard to see out there, at least for these areas. So let's check out the wave heights. We have no advisories along the coast. 2 to 3 foot wave heights are being observed out there. And in fact, farther out towards sea, it's not too bad either, at around 4 feet at this moment in time. In the meantime, we do have clouds passing through as well, not helping holding the fog, but we will be under a partly cloudy sky today. There are going to be a few storms developing as we head towards the afternoon period. We do have a surface trough that's going to be developing as this area low pressure tracks off towards the north and east. That surface trough is what's going to be helping to allow these storms to develop, but that surface trough will be getting out of here soon. So partly cloudy sky today. There's those storms right there. And again, that's going to be getting out of here tonight to allow things to clear out. And yes, that does mean a little bit more fog possible, but a beautiful Wednesday on the way. Lots of sunshine. Few clouds can't be ruled out, but Wednesday night, another nice one out there. Just a few passing clouds, and that's about it. So for today, here we go. Partly cloudy, a few storms, low 80s for the high, and that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, all right, storms early, lows in the mid 50s, and partly cloudy and fog overnight with a light and variable wind. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, low 80s for the high, and that west wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And your extended forecast Thursday, partly cloudy with highs in the low 80s, mid 70s for your Friday, another chance for showers and thunderstorms. And then Saturday, mostly sunny, highs in the upper 70s.
Need a driveway paved or an entire road surfaced? Give Eaton Paving and Excavation a call. Eaton Paving offers a full line of excavation packages, from new home projects to new and replacement septics and driveways. We also install new shoreland and do shoreland repairs. Our operators have more than 75 years combined experience, and we have been delivering quality, professional service for nearly 3 decades. We strive to exceed your expectations. Give us a call today at 207-348-5630 or visit us at EatonPaving.com.
Even if your child has moderate to severe eczema, they can feel the flow, feel the breeze. And Dupixent helps them feel the heal. It helps calm a key source of inflammation under the skin that can cause eczema. Dupixent is the only biologic therapy approved to treat kids as young as 6 months for noticeably clearer skin and less itch. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Dupixent. Help heal their skin from within so they can stay ahead of eczema. Find an eczema specialist and ask about Dupixent today.
Mainers work hard. Our leaders should too. Like Senator Susan Collins, who just cast her 10,000th vote.
The first senator in U.S. history to reach that mark without ever missing a vote.
Collins worked with Democrats to keep the Gulf of Maine open for our fishermen, kept our shipbuilders on the job with new funding, and Collins expanded health care for rural Mainers. No drama, just hard work and results. Call. Ask Senator Collins to keep working hard for Mainers.
Now to the crackdown on illegal immigration. More family members of people serving in the U.S. military are being detained and deported, raising questions and concerns among advocates for U.S. troops. ABC's Karen Waugh is in Washington with the details.
This morning, the wife of a U.S. Army sergeant is the latest spouse of a military service member to be deported from the U.S. after the Trump administration rolled back immigration protections for military families. Sergeant Haydar Juarez says ICE officers detained his wife Christy outside a Walmart as their daughter watched from her car seat.
They claim they're going for like the worst criminals in this country. My wife doesn't have a criminal record. She has never had any kind of problems with the law, not even a traffic ticket.
The Homeland Security Department says his wife illegally entered the United States in 2016 from Honduras and was removed from the United States in accordance with our laws. The Associated Press found more than 50 spouses and parents of U.S. military service members have now been swept up in the government's crackdown on illegal immigration. An ABC News review found none of the spouses had criminal records. Advocates claim it's taking a toll on the troops.
Our service members are having to fight two battles, one on the forefront, really, because we are a country of war, and at home front, making sure that their families are being taken care of.
In another case, a sailor on the USS Lincoln, who's serving a record 9-month deployment at sea, says his father back in Florida has been detained by Border Patrol. Joshua Avila saying, "I don't know how I can mentally continue working 12-plus hour days, knowing my dad is somewhere possibly treated like a criminal." The family saying he was working toward getting legal status.
Sergeant Turcios and no other service member is asking for any exception to the law. All we're asking is for the judicial process to take place.
In a separate development, the Trump administration is now planning to revoke the business and tourism visas of up to 200,000 foreigners who are seeking asylum. The Associated Press says it would be the largest revocation of visas in U.S. history. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Well, now to the wildfire emergency near Reno, Nevada. Nearly 100,000 people urged to evacuate that area. The Hawk Fire now burning across more than 15,000 acres, and the National Guard has now been deployed. Officials in Reno going door to door and also evacuating patients from 2 area hospitals. Authorities are calling the fire human-caused, but it's unclear if it was deliberately set.
The world's oceans reached record-setting temperatures over the weekend as experts warn waters may only be getting hotter. According to data released by the European Climate Service on Monday, the average surface temperature of the world's oceans rose to 70 degrees Fahrenheit on Friday and Saturday. That number beats out the previous record of around 69 degrees set back in March of 2024. And climate experts are sounding the alarm as well. Climate lead Samantha Burgess says when ocean waters become warmer, they can become more acidic, as well as carrying less oxygen, hurting food industries that rely on the sea. Further, sizzling temperatures can lead to increases in major weather events. Burgess says hot temperatures, hot water in the current weather patterns potentially giving more ammunition to storms, causing larger surges and heavier rainfall. This, as Burgess says, temperatures are only expected to rise, adding that human-induced climate change has already warmed oceans by about 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and this year's El Nino, which is already predicted to reach unprecedented levels this year, is given even more of a boost.
Corals, as well as most marine organisms, get incredibly stressed when the water environment is too hot for them. It also leads to fish mortality because a warmer ocean carries less nutrients and less oxygen. It changes our circulation, upwelling gets less intense, and we see changes in things like harmful algal blooms that impacts shellfish in particular in a warmer ocean.
The world's sea surface temperature typically peaks in March and April, making this weekend's August record a new standout. Burgess says continuing to emit greenhouse gases has the potential to worsen future conditions. But on the bright side, it's much more comfortable to go swimming.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll hear from Bangor or Robinson School of Dance about their 50th anniversary celebrations.
Don't go away.
"30 years living in Washington changes someone. I feel like politicians should be working for us, not getting rich from stock trading." But Susan Collins doesn't think so. Susan Collins wants to keep it so that senators can play the stock market, making millions of dollars. While the rest of the state is struggling, it's just wrong. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop the congressional stock trading.
Football is back. The NFL on Fox. America, you got every step. Back in them better. Let's go. It is America's game of the week. Tell him what's happening. How did he do that? Back in them better. Going for it all. Bears win. Let's go. The icing on one big cake. What a scene. Oh, unbelievable.
all season long.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Everyone, today is Tuesday, August 25th, 2026. This is also Kiss and Makeup Day.
This holiday was created to encourage people to take another look at old relationships and find ways to repair them. Holding on to a grudge can carry heavy emotional weight that primarily harms the person carrying it rather than the offender. This day calls for resolving those resentments and embracing forgiveness.
Now, we know we can't always do that depending on what has happened in the past, but
right.
in many cases it's you just talk it out and put that grudge behind you.
Yeah, especially if it's like little tiffs or little problems. Those are a little easier to get over.
It's not worth carrying it around
No,
because
it's
it really
not.
is a weight on your shoulders, and you don't have to kiss them too. That was just part of the title. Some people just don't want that.
That's not part of it.
Yeah. All right, moving on to some history now. It was on this date back in 1875, Matthew Webb became the first person to swim across the English Channel. He set out from Dover, England, and arrived in Calais, France in under 22 hours. In 1916, President Woodrow Wilson signed an act to create the National Park Service as a new federal agency, helping to protect our natural resources. And in 1928 on this date, an expedition led by Richard Byrd set sail from New Jersey on its journey to Antarctica.
And in 1944, Paris was liberated by Allied forces following 4 years of Nazi occupation during World War II. In 1958, to help address a food shortage in Japan after the war, businessman Momofuku Ando developed chicken ramen, the first ever instant noodles. The shelf-stable noodles can be cooked in just a couple of minutes and are very affordable. Today, instant noodles are enjoyed around the world with more than 100 billion servings consumed annually.
It's not just college kids eating them either. I mean, a lot of people eat the ramen.
Well, I guess you can say, people can doctor them up in a way and put other ingredients in it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And lastly, in 1985, 13-year-old Samantha Smith from Manchester, Maine, died in a plane crash with her father. Smith had become known around the world after writing to the Soviet leader about her concerns over the threat of nuclear war. She was then invited for a visit to the Soviet Union and became an ambassador for peace before her tragic death.
All right, for birthdays today, they include actress Blake Lively. She is 39 today. Movie director Tim Burton, a really kooky guy.
He
makes
is,
some weird stuff. He is 68. I should say wonderfully weird.
Wonderfully weird.
And rocker Gene Simmons from the band Kiss. He is 77 years old today. Happy birthday to you also, if your birthday is today.
Pretty diverse group there.
It's good to be a little weird.
It is.
You know?
Yeah, a little quirky.
Yeah.
We'll turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And then you got a lot of weird and, it happens.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes. Now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. We have a dense fog advisory that is up until 9 a.m. later on this morning. It is foggy out there from Bangor and farther off towards the east, so please be careful if you are traveling out there this morning. It is going to be hard to see. I mean, look at this, from Millinocket to Bangor to Bar Harbor, barely any visibility out there, so it is going to be difficult to see for a while this morning until everything clears up, as we do have some clouds also passing through. We'll eventually get the fog to clear up too, and even get some of the clouds to break up, so we will be partly cloudy today, a few showers, and even some thunderstorms will be on the way as well. Let's zoom things out right now. We do have the area low pressure that continues to move through, and again, eventually we'll get a few showers and thunderstorms developing as we head towards the afternoon period. You'll see those right there. Later on tonight, we'll get all that out of here as the sky clears out. A little bit more fog on the way again as we head towards later on tonight and the parts of tomorrow morning. So overall, as we move forward today, a partly cloudy sky, few storms possible, temperatures in the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, still to come here this morning, Jack Webb with sports, and stay tuned for that interview.
The folks from Robinson Ballet are in the house.
Yes, we're going to ask them about their 50th anniversary.
All right, don't go away.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salad, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
As Senate President, Troy Jackson counted votes, and his son counted cash. Jackson's lobbyist son raked in almost $200,000 from special interests, and Jackson flipped his positions. One polluter wanted to stop a bill cracking down on emissions, so they paid Jackson's son, and with Jackson in charge, the bill went up in smoke. Troy Jackson's family got paid. We got played. Coincidence or corruption? You decide. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
John Brown first opened his own appliance store in Ellsworth in 1976. With his gift of storytelling, a strong work ethic, and a philosophy of putting others first, John and his wife and children saw the business prosper and grow. Today's third and fourth generation of family and their entire team continue to follow the example set by their grandparents and parents. Brown Appliance and Mattress, High Street, Ellsworth. A family tradition of quality, value, and customer service that always puts you first.
At Darling's Kia, we believe your vehicle should be fit for every mile of Maine, from harbor to highway. Choose from 8 fuel-efficient models with 0% financing for up to 6 years. Or lease a new versatile Sportage, just $269 a month. Plus, every new Kia comes with our 10-year or 100,000-mile warranty. The best in the business. A Kia from #1 Darling's Kia is ready for anything. The best cars, the best prices, and the best warranty. You'll do better at Darling's.
Lakeshore Restaurant in Dexter is open for the season, featuring a wide selection of seafood, lobster, salad, sandwiches, and more. Plus, don't forget to save room for dessert. Dine in or take out at 16 Crockett Road in Dexter. Visit us today.
Hit Jamie Foxx and Beat Shazam are back. $1 million. Can you beat Shazam? Hit it. Beat Shazam, all new tonight at 9 on Fox.
Welcome back in, folks. Breaking news out of Foxborough on Monday. After multiple off seasons of speculation and rumors that he was on the trade block, the Patriots have officially traded wide receiver Kayshon Boutte. New England sending him over to Houston for a second-year safety Jalen Reed and a 2028 7th-round pick in return. Boutte, the former 6th-round pick out of LSU, developed into a fan favorite here in New England. He recorded 33 catches for 551 yards and 6 touchdowns last season, and won fans over by seeming to have a knack for big plays. But with Patriots receiver room being the deepest it's been in decades, Boutte is on the move to Houston, who is in desperate need for wide receiver help. We have some exciting news to share with you, our wonderful viewers here at Fox ABC Bangor. We have just finalized our broadcasting schedule with the University of Maine, and we will be bringing you live Division I football, soccer, and field hockey all fall long. It starts Sunday, September 6th, with Maine field hockey hosting Davidson at 11 a.m. Then again on Friday, October 2nd, as they take on rival Bryan at 3 p.m. Those will both be on Fox. The next day, Saturday the 3rd, I'll be on the call with Jim Churchill as Maine football takes on Sacred Heart at 3:30. That'll be on ABC 7. The following Friday, field hockey will be back on Fox at 3 as they take on bitter rival UNH. Then Sunday the 11th, we'll have back-to-back conference champ Black Bear women's soccer taking on NJIT at noon on ABC. Then it's 2 Saturdays in a row of football. I'll be on the call for both at 1 p.m. with Maine taking on Bryant the 17th on ABC. Then Campbell on the 24th on Fox, rounding it out with field hockey's final game of the regular season on the 19th. That will be on Fox. Then our final broadcast of the season will be Black Bear football on November 21st against UNH on Fox 22. That is scheduled for a 1 p.m. kickoff. The battle for the musket, that will be must-see television up here in Maine. NASCAR holding their annual race in New England at New Hampshire Motor Speedway over the weekend. Following the weather delay, Tyler Reddick started in pole position, stage 1, lap 1. Reddick, number 45, spins and stops. Denny Hamlin, the 11 car, and Chris Boucher, number 17, forced to stop as well. The caution flag is raised. Stage 2, lap 83. Hocevar spins out and makes contact with the number 88 car. A lot of wipeouts in this one as the rain was on the track. Stage 2, lap 148. Ryan Blaney passes Josh Berry on the inside. Blaney moves into the lead. Final lap of stage 2. Blaney crossed the line to win. 77 laps left. Scary moment here. Riley Herbst crashes into the wall, hits Zlilch. Caution flag is raised. 69 laps in, William Byron crashes into the wall, and his tire just kept on rolling. Apparently his tire went off. That's what caused the crash. 5 laps remaining. Bubba Wallace is trailing Blaney and locks up, but would gain control. I definitely thought he was spinning out there. Then in the final lap, Blaney's going to take the checkered flag. Ryan Blaney wins the NASCAR Dollar Tree 301, his 3rd win of the season, his 2nd win in a row at New Hampshire. Over the weekend, the Boston Red Sox swept the San Francisco Giants at Fenway Park. Sox finishing the sweep in dramatic fashion on Sunday, continuing to show their ability to never say die. Here was interim manager Chad Tracy after the win.
We've gotten ourselves to a place where even if we fall down by a couple of runs, in today's case, a few runs within the first 2 innings, that as a unit and a group, we feel like just stay with your approach. Like we feel like we're going to score more than 3. So as long as, we get the pitching settled, like we're still in the game. So it took a while to get there, but I think we're at that point now where, like I said yesterday, you may lose some of them, but like they're going to keep fighting and feel like that we're going to score more than that if we can slow them down, which we were able to do, and continue to stack runs.
Sox back at it on Monday night, beginning a road series with the Miami Marlins. Alcantara on the bump for the Marlins. He's an all-star 3rd inning. Marlins up 1-0. Alcantara dealing early. He strikes out Nick Sogard, swinging next batter, Ceddanne Rafaela. He goes down looking, and in the 4th, Alcantara gets Wilyer Abreu swinging. He finished with 6 Ks. Marlins up 1-0. 5th inning, same score. Mickey Gasper hits it deep off Alcantara. Jacob Marcy leaps and is off his glove. Jaron Duran rounds 3rd and scores. Red Sox are going to tie it at 1 with this Duran run. Top of the 7th inning, same score. Alcantara in a bases-loaded jam with 1 out. He strikes out Sogard, swinging next batter, Ceddanne Rafaela. Flies out to Marcy to end the inning. Alcantara went 7 innings, allowing 1 run, his 21st quality start of the season that leads the major leagues. Bottom 7th, same score, bases loaded for Xavier Edwards lines a single in the hole off Brian Bayo. 1 run scores. Alcantara loves it. Marlins take a 2-1 lead. 9th inning, now tied at 2. Anthony Siegler rips it down the line off Tyler Zuber. Eli White rounds 3rd and is going to score all the way from first. RBI triple for Siegler. Next batter is going to be Sogard. He hits the single off Zuber. Siegler scores. Red Sox win their 4th in a row by a score of 4-2. Red Sox just keep finding a way. For now, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
What is Spectrum Internet? It's secure internet for you and your family.
It's keeping kids like us safe online.
It's everything you want it to be. Switch today at Spectrum.com.
You don't get to buy the government that you want.
But let's look at what Troy Jackson did. Because Troy Jackson likes to keep it in the family. When Jackson was state Senate president, his son was one of the highest paid lobbyists in town. Special interests paid his son, and Jackson changed his positions. Was it a coincidence, or was something corrupt? Troy Jackson is just another dirty politician. SLF PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Around here, you take pride in your home, and who you trust to work on it matters. That's why folks turn to AF&F Carpentry. From kitchens and custom woodwork to full home renovations, we bring military-grade discipline and focus to every project. Our work has been featured on Operation CEO. No shortcuts, no surprises, just solid craftsmanship you can count on. AF&F Carpentry, serving Maine homeowners with pride.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
At Spectrum, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between speed, reliability, and value. That's why Spectrum fiber-powered internet gives you all 3 for just $40 a month. Call now or go online.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, today we are joined by Stevie McGarry, who is the Artistic Director for Robinson School of Dance. Stevie, thank you so much for coming in and joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So it is your 50th anniversary this year at the School of Dance. Congratulations, first of all. That's fantastic. I know that you have some big upcoming performances this year to help everyone celebrate. Would you like to tell me about some of those?
Sure. So the Robinson Ballet Company has been founded in 1977. So
Okay.
coming up on 50 years of performing.
Yeah.
And our first big performance will be the Nutcracker, which performs between Thanksgiving and Christmas each year. Auditions are coming up on the 12th for any dancers in the area.
Fun.
Our ages range last year from 9 to 76. So
Wow, yeah.
we'll take anybody.
I love that.
And so that will be our huge production, which accumulates at the Collins Center with the Bangor Symphony Orchestra. So we're really happy to be partnering with them again this year.
Absolutely.
And in the spring, in May, we'll be having our annual Mosaic performance, which is a combination of new work and old work. And this year, we're going to kind of lean into that 50-year history of performing pieces. I mean, we have rep from 50 years.
Yeah,
so we're
exactly.
gonna lean into that and hopefully have some former dancers come back and join us.
Oh, that would be cool. Kind of go
Yeah.
through the years a little bit. Yeah, that would be fun to watch. And you did say too that with that one there may be some sort of gala going on.
We're hoping.
Yeah,
we're
that would be
hoping to
cool.
have a nice like sit-down dinner gala to celebrate. Your 50th anniversary is a golden anniversary, so
Right.
you know, kind of lean into that.
Definitely. And for you guys too, you were just telling me that, you know, you have the School of Dance, you kind of have an outreach program, kind of different programs that branch off from the school, and those are all under a nonprofit. Can you tell me, you know, how that kind of, that structure works and the donation process?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit, Robinson Ballet, and we had a performing company for about 40 years, and then in 2006, we opened up the School of Robinson Ballet, and that falls underneath our umbrella. And that our school is a little different. We're a non-competitive school. We welcome everybody. People can just drop in for classes, and we have an outreach program that goes into a few third grade classrooms and teaches dance to third graders for the year. And we are a nonprofit, so of course we're always looking for funding to help further dance education in the area.
Exactly, because all those funds, you know, you take them and it goes right back into all those programs, and it's almost a cycle in a way.
100%.
You know, to fund all those different things that you guys do. So you do take donations, but another way, a great way for everyone to support them is just showing up to the shows, buying tickets, and those tickets proceeds also help you guys further that funding, correct?
Yes, 100%. Yep, and you can go to our website. All of our information is there on just making a simple donation or our ticket sales. They're not quite up for May, but they will be soon.
Yeah, so definitely keep checking it.
Yes.
What is the name of your website too, real quick?
RobinsonBallet.org.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Stevie, thank you so much for coming in and joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We saw ticks and mosquitoes, now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote, 207-263-3421. Alrighty, here we go. The dense fog is bad out there this morning, reducing visibilities from Millinocket to Bangor to Bar Harbor and further off towards the east. Barely any visibility, so it is going to be hard to see for a while this morning. So please be careful as you do make that morning commute. Things will begin to improve later on. So in the meantime, we do have dense fog advisories posted until about 9 a.m. this morning. So this is definitely stating the obvious that it is hard to see out there, at least for these areas. So let's check out the wave heights. We have no advisories along the coast. 2 to 3 foot wave heights are being observed out there. And And in fact, farther out towards sea, it's not too bad either, at around 4 feet at this moment in time. In the meantime, we do have clouds passing through as well, not helping holding the fog, but we will be under a partly cloudy sky today. There are going to be a few storms developing as we head towards the afternoon period. We do have a surface trough that's going to be developing as this area low pressure tracks off towards the north and east. That surface trough is what's going to be helping to allow these storms to develop, but that surface trough will be getting out of here soon. So partly cloudy sky today. There's those storms right there. And again, that's going to be getting out of here tonight to allow things to clear out. And yes, that does mean a little bit more fog possible, but a beautiful Wednesday on the way. Lots of sunshine. Few clouds can't be ruled out, but Wednesday night, another nice one out there. Just a few passing clouds, and that's about it. So for today, here we go. Partly cloudy, a few storms, low 80s for the high, and that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, all right, storms early, lows in the mid 50s, and partly cloudy and fog overnight with a light and variable wind. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, low 80s for the high, and that west wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And your extended forecast Thursday, partly cloudy with highs in the low 80s, mid 70s for your Friday, another chance for showers and thunderstorms. And then Saturday, mostly sunny, highs in the upper 70s.
First, it was Graham Plattner's problems with women.
And now, Troy Jackson.
According to a police report, Troy Jackson kicked down a door, punched a man in the face, and pushed his ex-girlfriend. As state Senate president, there are multiple reports of Jackson yelling and screaming at women. Jackson even threw a water bottle at one woman.
Make no mistake, this is an attempt to intimidate and control women.
Maine deserves better than Troy Jackson.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Let your creativity run free at the Creative Arts Center, where we offer fun and affordable activities for all ages. Birthday parties, pottery wheel classes, painting lessons, or just for the fun of it. Get fired up for glazing projects as well as acrylics. We offer a wide selection of ceramic products for you to choose from, and we have thousands of pieces ready to paint. We are a Paragon kiln dealer and a Laguna Clay distributor. Stop by the Creative Arts Center today, located just off the Joshua Chamberlain Bridge in Brewer. The Creative Arts Center, where your only limitation is your imagination.
Do you have a wet basement, nasty crawl space, settling foundation, sinking concrete, or clogged gutters? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basement-y. For over 30 years, thousands of homeowners throughout Maine and southeastern New Hampshire have trusted TC Hafford. Basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, stabilizing foundations, concrete leveling, and gutter installation. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basement-y.
You know Matt pretty well. Did he give you any advice?
He said that I should use 26 words or more.
When every word counts.
Trash panda.
Raccoon. Yeah, hand me a trash panda. That was gangster. It pays to choose wisely.
Wed, Thurs.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You just won it. 25 words or less every weekday.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
Alaska Airlines is revealing new nonstop international services for one West Coast city. The airline says it will be offering nonstop flights from Seattle to Athens, Greece, and to Paris, France, starting in the spring of 2027. Alaska Airlines passengers can now snag tickets for trips to either country from Seattle, with round-trip main cabin fare prices starting at $999. The special promo price will be available until Wednesday. The announcement makes Alaska Airlines the first airline to offer nonstop flights from Seattle to Athens. The company will serve 7 intercontinental destinations once the new service starts, with the CEO saying the airline plans to add more long-haul routes from Seattle in the near future.
I wonder where to.
I don't know.
Guess we'll have to find out. And it was a pandemonium as Russia marks another birthday for the first giant panda ever born in the country. Katyusha marked her 3rd birthday at the Moscow Zoo on Monday with birthday cake and other sweet treats. There was also a traditional Chinese lion dance to celebrate the popular panda. And visitors even got to pose with a giant panda character. China's ambassador to Moscow, who joined the birthday festivities, said that the care Russia has provided for the pandas reflects the strength of the Chinese-Russian ties.
Very cute panda.
Very cute. Seems like it's really enjoying that birthday cake and the presents.
We love it when we see animals celebrating.
We really do.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time that we have left for this morning, but as always, we thank you for joining us.
Thanks for being there, everyone. We hope you have a great day.
Today on 25 Words or Less, she once told me she'd never compromise her artistic vision.